Welcome to the Wayward Widow. I don't know why I'm having trouble these days clipping that on there. Maybe it's because the chair's in my way. The table's in my way. Okay, good morning. It's morning for another 10 minutes. I got my hair color done this morning. I got rid of the roots. Got the bright blonde going. Thought I'd come out here in the living room, in the corner. This is where I do all the magic. This is my work area. There's my flowers. I had 2 vases. I combined them into one because so many of them died from in the other vase. These will last another couple days and then they're going to go too, but they're still okay. Got to add some more water. Absolutely. Change out the water. But I thought I'd share. I got the card and I got my coffee. Let's do the most important thing first. I find that if I use my dragon mug, it doesn't drip all over me. It's cool today, where we are in that rainy week because of the storm coming up the coast. I'm doing my video earlier than usual. Okay, the card. Thomas Edison says, "The best thinking has been done in solitude." The action is carve out alone time, in quotes, in your day for deep thinking and reflecting. This is where you can gain insights, ideas, and epiphanies. The epiphanies are the big one. You want to make sure that you grab at least one epiphany a day. So I kept talking about the hair color. I don't think I showed this. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I did because I got it yesterday. And I don't think I did a video since then. So I caught a ride down to Walmart. I literally ran into Walmart, grabbed the hair color, and left. The hair color was $8.94, no tax. I guess because it's in the health and beauty aid section. And I had $10.07 credit on my Discover. And so I paid for this, but not actually, you know what I mean? So I still have $1.50 credit, but this is the color that I use. This is this Bold and Bright number 110 Pina Colada. And this has this separate packet in it. I don't know, I think, yeah. This is the 2-week Color Boost Glaze. So 2 weeks from now, which today's the 8th, around the 22nd, which is also when I need to call in my heart medicine, my metoprolol, I'll use this Bold and Bright. I'll probably wait more like 3 weeks, but the roots start to grow in just a little bit. You put this on the roots, you comb it through, leave it on 10 minutes, and so you get like a refresh, which gives you basically another 6 weeks before you need to put the color on again. So really this is like an 8-week color. So if you want to be really, really blonde, bright blonde, this is the way to go. I love this stuff. It washes out really easily. 110 Pina Colada, Bold and Bright. That's my color. I've only found it at Walmart so far, but I haven't checked Target. Target might have it, I'm not sure. Next time I go into Target to get my prescription, which will be around the 18th, I'll check while I'm in there. So I'm doing this video because I'm feeling weirdly alone. I'm feeling very alone right now. This is the hoodie that I showed about a week or 2 ago. And because it's kind of cool today, went down into the 60s overnight, it's so lightweight, but it's got the pockets. I sized up to a medium because I like things roomy. And this is what the front looks like that. I love it. It's super comfortable. I love the colors, love the detail. It's got the hood, but again, it's so lightweight. I knew it would be good for the end of summer into fall for just something like this temperature's down in the apartment, the windows are closed, and so I threw this on. I got the laundry done this morning, got my hair color done, wiped down everything in the bathroom. The kitchen's all cleaned up. I grabbed my mail. The mailman must have been here really late last night. But I got my mail this morning, took care of that. It was just a bunch of junk, went into recycle. And that's that. So I'm on day 26 of my taper. If you're new, hi, my name is Poet. I lost my partner February 27th of this year. So I'm like, 23 weeks plus into being on my own. So when I talk about missing him, actually what I'm meaning is I'm missing the whole thing. I'm missing our life together. I'm missing the future plans. I'm missing the stability of having another person here. I'm missing the financial stability. I'm missing everything that we planned to do, which was go to Ireland. We planned to go to Ireland. We planned to go to the beach and watch the sunrise and sunset. We planned picnics this summer. We planned, and what's that saying? God's laughing as we're making our plans. And yeah, we planned, and then he passed away. And I'm still trying to play catch up emotionally. So I'm missing him physically, his quirkiness, but more than that, I'm missing us, the us. Right now, the apartment is stone quiet. It's affecting me today. I'm bothered by it today. I feel like there's no one out there. That's what it feels like. Like right this second, I'm feeling like there's no one out there. My old friend is still down south visiting family. He'll be back on Saturday, and he's going to need a good 2-3 days to recover from a 3-week vacation. And my old friend, he might be up this afternoon to have a coffee with me, but then the next 3-4 days, he's got a funeral to go to tomorrow. He's got plans over the weekend with his lady. They have doctor appointments next week. So, and I have an appointment with my daughter. I say an appointment. We're going to do a Zoom call on Monday, and we're going to be looking at some charts and graphs on dating and love. Yeah. So that's Monday at 10, and then sometime Wednesday, I got to look at my book. I have therapy, telehealth, 30 minutes. So it's like, it feels super quiet right now. Like I feel like no one's out there. And this morning, I have to tell you what happened to me this morning. That scared the hell out of me. I got up at 3:45. So I slept from whatever time I fell asleep last night. I'm thinking it was around 9. I might be a little bit off, but it's somewhere around there. And I slept until 3:45, which is not bad. That's more than 6 hours for me. And and I did all my stuff on my phone. I checked my mail and all that. I did Sky's Duolingo. And I'm laying in bed and I'm drinking my water from my McDonald's cup. And I'm just drinking water. That's all I'm doing. And the way I swallowed, the weirdest, it never happened to me before. Like literally, I couldn't swallow, but I'm swallowing. And the water's going down into my lung. And it's burning my throat. And it's burning my sinuses. And I had to spit water out because literally I could not swallow it all. I don't know what happened to me. It never happened before. And it took me about 20 minutes of coughing and trying to recover. And I don't know how much water went into my lung. Has that ever happened to anyone to that degree? Like I was at a point where I was gasping for breath and I'm thinking, do I need to call 911? Like that's how bad it was. And it just brought the realization again that I'm here by myself. Yeah. Don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm not geared for this. There's a lot of people who just love being alone. I get that. And good for you. And I don't mean that in a smart way. I mean, there are people that love people around them all the time. There are people that want to be completely alone. And there are people that can tolerate someone for like an hour. And then it's like, okay, let me show you the door. The world goes around in different ways. thirsty. And I already had my hot green tea, 10 ounces. I had a half a cup of water, and then I had a full cup of water. Well, some of it I spit out, and some of it went in my lungs. But anyway, I figured let me get the video in before my friend comes up, if he does. I want to talk for a minute about a couple different things. Some things sometimes just pop into my head, and I'm like, let me tell this as a story time and give you like a little idea about, myself and Sky. I talk about his death, but who was Sky and what made Sky Sky, and some of the things that he experienced while he was here in this life on Earth. And Sky got a job at Lowe's. When Sky came up from Tennessee, he did not have a job, he did not have health insurance, he did not have a vehicle, and he had a very low credit score, very low, like down in the 500s. And I told him, I'm like, if you want a relationship with me, you need to get a vehicle, you need to get a job, get a vehicle, get health insurance, and you need to up your credit score. Like, that was that. Because I had a car, I had a career, I had savings, I had an excellent credit score. I wanted to see that for him. And so he got a job at Lowe's. After a little while, he bought himself a used little red pickup truck that he loved. He paid just $49.95 for it, used, had some dings and all that, but he loved that little red truck. Lowe's, because of Lowe's, he got his health insurance, so he's ticking the boxes off, right? And but he didn't know what to do with his credit score. Like, he was completely ignorant as to how that all worked. So I said, here's what you're going to do first, is you're going to open up a credit card, one card. He had his checking account at the bank, and he had automatic deposit with his check. And so he opened up a credit card. He got something like $250 worth of credit because his score was so low. And I said, now what you do is you will go in the store and you're going to charge something, like you're going to get a couple packs of gum or, some candy or whatever, something under $10. You're going to charge it on the card, and then you're going to pay it right off. Give it a couple days to go process through, and then you're going to pay the full amount. And he did that. And he kept doing that. And then they upped his available amount to like $500. And then they upped it to $1,000. And his credit score started to creep up. He had the electric bill in his name only here. The cable bill was in both of our names. The lease was in both of our names. And the gas bill was just in my name. So as he's paying utilities and paying on the rent, his credit score kept going up. He started getting offers for more credit cards. I think he had 2 store cards and 2, like MasterCards. And by the time that he passed away, his score was way up there in the excellent range. And he was so proud of himself, and I was proud of him, because it was important to him and it was important to me. I wanted to see him grow in that way. So when he was working at Lowe's, he was in the electrical department. That's what he hired into. And he learned everything about electricity and how to wire things. And he loved that. He loved it. He would come home with little booklets and pamphlets, and he'd have notes everywhere. And that was his bag. He loved that. And he loved the store he was working in. He was there for 8 years in that particular store. And then we moved to Arizona thinking it was going to be better for us all the way around. I have 4 kids in Arizona. One of my daughters said, come on out. I can fix you up a place to stay for, a couple of weeks until you find an apartment. Sky transferred to a Lowe's out there in Phoenix. And in that Lowe's, he worked in the patio department. And he liked that. It wasn't his first pick, but it wasn't bad. He liked the guys he was with, and he did well. And we were only out there for 5 weeks, but he started working there the day after we arrived in Phoenix. So he did his full 5 weeks. And he actually was hired into another store in Chandler, Arizona, at like $3 more an hour. But we had already made the decision to come back to Pennsylvania. So when we came back to Pennsylvania, we didn't have an apartment lined up. He didn't have a for sure job lined up at Lowe's, but he was talking with the supervisor from the local Lowe's because there was no openings at the Lowe's he had left. And so she was pretty sure she could fit him in somewhere. And so we stayed at a motel for like 6 days while they were getting this apartment ready. And everything fell into place. We got the apartment, he got the job, but he was hired into the housekeeping department. He was the janitor. That's all they had open. So the supervisor said, let's get you at least in here on the payroll. And he was hired in at $5 less an hour. And as the janitor. Now for him, that was a terrible blow to his ego. He had a different color smock. He had the cleaning cart, the whole 9 yards. And he struggled emotionally with that job, with what that job meant to the other people working there and how they looked down on him. So he was getting a lot of lessons in people and the way people are towards other people. And I remember him sending me a picture, and I don't think I have that picture anymore, but I have it in my mind. He was in the bathroom. Because he was cleaning the bathroom. He did a picture of he had the cleaning cart. He had a different color vest on, and you could just see where he was. Like you could just see it in his face. And I texted him. And I said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to clean that store like that store has never been cleaned. I want you to clean that store like you're the only one that uses the bathroom, and you want it as clean as a bathroom you would want to use. Clean the water fountains as though you're the only one drinking out of it, and how clean would you want that water fountain for you to drink out of? I want you to clean the break tables as though you're the only one using the break table, and how clean do you want the table as you put out your lunch? And he did that. For him emotionally, it was a turnaround. And he cleaned that place like nobody's business. And the employees were coming up to him then and saying, you know, oh my God, Sky, the water fountains never looked like that. Like, I feel like I can now drink out of that water fountain. You know, the store has never been cleaner. The bathrooms have never been cleaner. There's actually paper towel and toilet paper in there, and everything's sparkling. Like, people were coming up to him, thanking him for the job that he was doing in that store. Within about 2 weeks or so, he was transferred back into the electrical department. But it was the mindset and the ego and how he was feeling about all that, and how just a shift in your thinking changes things. So I just thought I would share that for a minute as to where he was, and then where he went to, and then where he went back to. Just a couple little stories about my guy. So my daughter and I we're talking about dating. We're talking about love. We're talking about expectations, that kind of thing. She told me, she said, Mom, get a piece of paper and write down everything you want and everything you don't want in a potential date or a potential partner. And we're going to talk about it on Monday. Now, keeping in mind that my daughter is 45 and I'm just about 65. So there's 20 years makes a big difference when you're 65 and she's 45. So when she was dating, because she was married for a very long time, they got divorced. They raised their kids up. She was a stay-at-home mom, but what a driven, like she homeschooled all three of my grandkids. And my two grandsons were both in college at 14, and both, by the time they graduated high school, they both had 2 bachelor degrees by the time they graduated high school. So they got their diploma and bachelor degrees. My daughter was driven and is driven for success. And so they raised up their kids, and they just outgrew each other. And they're still best friends to this day. And so when she was dating with marriage in mind. She wasn't dating just for the heck of how many people can I date, She wasn't into that. She had a goal, a marriage goal. And so she knew what she was looking for. And she was not one to waste time. Like, I'm not going to date somebody for, 6 months or whatever, and they're not marriage minded. So we talk a lot about that kind of thing. Now, at 65, what I'm looking for is not what she would be looking for at 45. So I'm looking for stability in a person, and have that person bring out the best in me and me bring out the best in them. Somebody calm and laid back, somebody who wants gentle adventures, somebody who can appreciate nature and is romantic, but gentle romantic, someone who I know has my back and that they're okay enough for me to have their back. And I want to be the feminine woman that I am. I want to be the woman in the relationship, not the man in the relationship. And talking with my daughter so many times now, there's a lot of talk about women sometimes being the man in the relationship and not the woman in the relationship. And a lot of times women have to be the man and the woman. Broken families, fractured families, children that don't talk to us, grown children that don't talk to us, grandchildren that don't talk to us, are the majority, not the minority, in 2024. There are more broken families, divorced families, remarriage, step families over and over and over again. Children that do not talk to their parents, grandchildren that do not talk to their grandparents, fractured siblings. The fractures are deep and wide and plentiful. We are the majority now. We are not the minority. So when someone will question me about not talking with my kids or not having communication with my kids, that's a two-way street. And there's a lot of shift in everybody's thinking. The way I think is not the way they think. The way they think is not the way I think, So I'm not the minority. I'm in the majority with the kids that don't have conversations with me. But the one thing that I do recognize is that I would drop anything for my kids and do for my kids. And I have, and sometimes it's even a little bit frustrating, and I'm going down the rabbit hole here for a second, so bear with me. But my son that's a couple blocks over, that's 25, made the decision not to talk to me back in 2019 because we had an argument. We had an argument about a job. And he made the decision like he had enough, he's not going to talk to mom anymore. And I carried that with me, and I said to you guys 1,000 times, I'm going to totally take the responsibility for that fracture. I took 110% of that. I carried it around like a freaking big rock. It's my fault, my fault, my fault, only my fault, not his fault. He's so perfect, it couldn't be his fault, it could only be my fault. Now, my son is an amazing man. I'm not taking anything away from him with that. But I bent over backwards for that child for years. Now, you could say, well, you should have because you're the parent. And you're right. That's what we do. We parent. I homeschooled him for 10 years. And I'm talking, I was hands-on homeschooled. We traveled. He did it all. He experienced it all. We experienced it all. We had an amazing unschooling adventure. I worked extra shifts, extra jobs, extra time to make the money to be able to get him everywhere to experience all kinds of things, plays and meeting authors and going out of state and getting on airplanes and going to Disney and going behind the scenes and learning things. And I can't even tell you how much we did. When the divorce happened with me and his dad, anything my son needed, he'd pick up the phone. Hey, Mom, can you go down to Papa John's and grab a couple of pizzas for me and Dad? I have them ordered. Can you bring them over to the house? They were 2 blocks away, but in the other direction. Sure, if I was in the middle of making dinner, or I was in the middle of cleaning, or I was in the middle of doing laundry, I would stop everything and go and do it. Getting groceries. I would go over, pick my son up. We would go to the store. I would get my groceries, and I would help him get him and his dad's groceries. And I would help carry all the bags in so that they didn't have to, and we worked as a team. If they had a doctor appointment, I'd get in the car, take them to the doctors, do all of the taxiing, anything that was needed. I would drop everything. If he wanted to go for a burger and a soda, drop everything. Hey, let's go for a burger. When he needed his haircuts, I went over, picked him up, brought him over to my house, gave him his haircut, cleaned him all up. You're good to go for 6 more weeks. I did that forever. If you needed new clothes, sure. You needed new video equipment, sure. But see, these are the things that we forget when something goes awry, and we immediately take the burden for it. It's all our fault. It has to be our fault as the parent. It must be we did it wrong. In this case, the other night, I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking of all these things that I totally put out of my mind. And I just focused on that one argument, and I took that and I just carried it like my fault, my fault, my fault. I'm like, well, wait a minute though. Hang on. I'll take the responsibility for that argument. But what happened to all that other stuff? Just forgotten? It's just something to think about. If you're in the majority and you have a fractured family, and you're taking the responsibility for everything that's gone wrong, just maybe rethink things. That's that. So back to dating and love and all that. So what I'm looking for was not what my daughter would be looking for with that 20-year difference. My body's different. My thinking is different, And I know the kind of person that I want in my life, and I know what I don't want. And I'm actually at a good age because I can look back over my experiences of dating and being married, and I can go, okay, that was great, and that wasn't. That we don't want to go there. We don't want that personality type, but that was a good quality, and that was a good quality, and so I have experiences to build on, to not go there or to go there. Sky was very quiet and very reserved for the most part. But we would have these mind-blowing, 2-hour-long conversations about space and science and the earth and Buddha and Taoism and you name it, anything deep, and we would just talk. And I loved that about Sky and myself. So I'm moving into that next stage. I'm moving into that, okay, what's next? On days like this where it's extremely quiet, a little too quiet today. I'm feeling the quiet a lot. I'm not liking it today. And I'm trying to cope, but I'm feeling it a little more that like, okay, I really, really, really am ready to take that next step with someone. Now, saying that, dating feels daunting and overwhelming, and it feels like a lot of work. And I'm kind of lazy in that department, in the fact that I know that my perfect person is out there. And I don't mean anybody's perfect. I mean perfect for me and what I'm looking for. But you guys knew that. So, yeah, today is just one of those days. But I had the last 24 hours plus has been very emotional for me, really hard. A lot's happened. I've needed to practice some tough love. Tough love. I don't like that word. I count it as one word, even though it's 2 words. tough love. Tough and love just don't go hand in hand in my book. Love is love. There's no place for tough in it. But, you know, you love this person, but you got to cut them out of your life because they're toxic. You got to move away from all that stuff, and you got to be tough emotionally in order to go through that and you know, keep your head on straight to basically save yourself and your own sanity. And then there's that, you know, soft missing love that I'm experiencing with Sky's passing. And then there's all the love that I have for my kids, which is a whole different type of love. Pride in what they're accomplishing, missing them and the things that they're doing because of the fracture with some of them. And so there's a lot that, especially when you're alone like this, you really do a lot of soul searching and a lot of thinking. And that's where I am right now. My house is in order, so to speak. I worked a little bit on my gem art yesterday. There's really nothing to show at this point. This particular gem art that I'm doing now is so dark. Everything in it is so dark. It's this forest scene. And I'm wondering, like, goodness, how much am I actually going to be able to see of it? Because all the colors, except for maybe a handful, are very, very dark. But I am working on it, and it is fun. And what else have I done? Not much, really, other than getting my laundry finished up. And yesterday, or the day before, I vacuumed and got that done. I vacuumed the steps and the vinyl floors. So I pick a little something every day just to make sure that, and I watered the plants. Yeah, just to make sure the house is in order. And you know what's really weird? I'm just going to share this. I have a plant over there. Let's see here. The plant, so we got the white plant, and then the plant, the tissue box, and the plant next to the tissue box. That one. This morning, all around that plant on the table and under the table was dirt from inside the plant. And it had a hole in the dirt. Why? When did that happen? How did that happen? What was digging in that plant? Is what I want to know. Because there's no one here. And when Moonshadow was alive, and a couple people thought I got a new cat, and I wish I had. I don't have a new cat. The cat that people are seeing is my deceased cat, Moonshadow, and she's been gone for a couple of years. But Moonshadow would get up to my plants, and she would kind of paw in the soil. But this looked like something got in there and went like this and kicked the dirt out. And I'm like, what? The only thing that came to my mind was a mouse. But would a mouse get in the dirt? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And there was enough of it kicked out that it was very obvious something happened to that plant. Anybody have any ideas? Let me know in the comments what you think happened with the dirt in that plant. Because it's very weird. How long have I been yakking? Oh, 34 minutes. People aren't going to watch this for 34 minutes. However, I am going to go. I'll finish up my half of a coffee there. And my friend, I think he's coming up around 1. And we'll chit-chat a little bit about the usual. And then he'll head home and I'll figure out what's next for me. I don't know. I did, however, have a really nice phone call yesterday morning. I'm not going to say with who, it doesn't matter. But, you know, my goal is to start talking with some of my pals, my friends, my mentors, my muses on the phone and get a tighter bond with people. I feel good that I have girlfriends. And just to be able to get to know people a little bit better, you know, on like a deeper level. So that's it. I'm going to go. This was all over the place, but I can't say that I have widow brain. I just had a bunch of stuff that popped into my head that I wanted to share and I'm curious about, and wanted to share all the stuff with you guys. So if you want to be really blonde, that's the color you want to pick up. What's interesting, it says if your natural color is this, it's going to come out like this. Well, my natural color wasn't that dark, but I love it. And the smell is amazingly wonderful. That hair color does not have that typical hair color smell. After you dye your hair and it's got that smell that stays with you for like 24 hours until you shampoo twice or something. This does not have it. This smells like the best shampoo ever. It smells like a really good shampoo. And then after I colored it, I used the Onion Biotin hair growth shampoo. Haven't cut the bangs yet. I'm still working to get the bangs to the point where I can bring them down again for more hair, and so that I feel better. I'm going to go. I'm just talking for the sake of talking because I'm lonely and I'm bored. But I'm honest. If nothing else, I'm honest. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you soon.